War Gamers, and welcome to this video of the German cruiser Hermelin, which introduces the entire German tech tree. Let's take a quick look at the equipment setup and commander skills for this particular battle. Not a lot to see at Tier 1, by the way. The same goes for the team lineups as well. There's a replay bug here, which is why you can't see the enemy team. What you'll typically see at Tier 1 is the majority of ships will be captained by automated captains. In this particular battle, there are only 3 real people that are captaining ships on each team. In terms of strategy for Tier 1 battles, I typically aim to eliminate the real players as a priority. My tendency in Tier 1 battles also is to move towards the home base, which is the green circle you see on the minimap there, to protect that area. What's useful as a lesson in Tier 1 battles, because of the way that the maps are constructed for this level, is that you get used to using islands as cover to shield yourself from incoming fire from too many ships. So as I move across towards the home base, what I'll be doing is looking for opportunities to get continuous fire on enemy ships and start chipping away at their health. Now the automated captains, or bots as they're called in the game, are not too accurate in their shooting, so if you can remove enough percentage of a ship's health to assist the bots in your own team in destroying them, that's a big step forwards. So here we go, let's start chipping away at them then. Now here as with any other tier battle, you don't want to be taking too much damage early on, so I'm looking to kite away here to present a smaller target as possible for the enemy.
Problem solved, sir.
I'll switch targets here now though, because the experience points that you gain in battles are heavily affected by the percentage of the health of a ship that you actually damage. So that's a good habit to get into while you're in Tier 1. It doesn't matter so much here because all of the ships are cruisers, but as you move to higher tiers and you have the opportunity to damage ships, you'll begin to realise that the smaller the ship, the better in terms of the experience points you gain as you inflict damage upon them. Now the automated captains will automatically head straight for your base, and that can impact the points roll up as you see at the top of the screen here, as well as ships being sunk impacting that as well. So the enemy has sunk one of our ships, and you can see on the scores at the top that the enemy has a better than 80 point lead, I was going to say there, but they've sunk a second ship, which has increased that lead now. So when you do see a ship get sunk, take a look at the points scoring at the top there and see how that's impacted. And here we go, I've spotted one of the real players on the enemy team, so I want to target that ship now. Now as it happens, Hermelin is one of my favourite ships at Tier 1. I like the characteristics of the shell firing arcs, and you know, they're fairly consistent, the guns. Maybe not the hardest hitting at Tier 1, but they're consistent in terms of hitting the enemy. Okay then, that's him taken care of. Who's next? Now remember what I said at the start of this battle, you don't necessarily want to be focusing on one ship trying to sink it, but chipping away at enough percentage of that ship's health so that your bots can contribute usefully. Now, as a consequence of these battles, I've pushed myself way too far south, and as a consequence I might not be able to impact the game usefully from this distance, so I need to push back towards the base now. Okay, but while I transition back, let's keep shooting. Now, looking at the mini-map to try to get a picture, it looks like two of the friendly ships are approaching the enemy base now. We can definitely see one enemy there, and one of our ships has just gone down in the northwest up there, so let's get closer there so we can have a better supporting position. Okay, we just lost the friendly Erie to the enemy Griff. Now the Griff is a real player, you can see by his name there. We've got one of the bots on the enemy team approaching our base now, and we can see now in the north of the enemy base the real player. So we just spotted an enemy player in E2 there as well, behind that island, so we definitely know where two of their guys are. So I'm going to turn and assist my teammate that's over in the west of the map versus that enemy player there who appears to be pushing aggressively towards our base. I'll just message the friendly Hashidate in the team chat to let him know that I'm on the way. Now my recommendation would be to try the various tier 1 cruisers across all of the different nations, but Hermelin, as I say, is my favourite at tier 1. It's a very comfortable ship to play with. Okay, here we go. It's game on. Alright, there's the high caliber award for percentage damage done to the enemy team. So he's sunk, but unfortunately we've lost the friendly Hashidate as well. Now that leaves us 2v1 for the last enemy ship, which is the Griff. Actually has some quite strong, hard-hitting guns. Now, the original plan that I agreed with my remaining teammate in chat earlier on in the battle was to wait in our base and ambush the enemy as they push towards us, but I'm thinking here now, maybe we just push towards the enemy base. So as you've probably seen already, the main characteristics of Hermelin, actually the guns are interesting because they're bigger guns than you will find on the tier 2 and tier 3 cruisers of this particular tech tree line. But they're accurate and have a fast reload, and she's quite a fast ship as well for tier 1. The counter to that, by the way, the main disadvantage is that if you do show enough broadside to enemy ships, she will take damage significantly. So So let's take one last peek around this island here to see can we detect any intention by the enemy griff to actually push towards our base or not. Do you know what? I'm not seeing it, and you know my teammate's coming with me, so I'm thinking, no, let's just go. Let's go and capture the enemy base. Occupying capture points on the map is also another good way to increase the amount of experience points that you gain in a battle. Now, myself and my teammate have enough health left on each of our ships to give me enough confidence to think that we can down the enemy if they do try to come and engage us. Now, if you see that dotted line circle around my ship on the mini-map, that's my visibility. It's the distance at which I can be spotted by another ship, which is one of the downsides of Hermelin as well. It's one of the most easily spotted ships at Tier 1. Now, the fact that the enemy hasn't spotted me at this point either tells me that he's run away into the top corner of the map, or he's passing around the island to try to get to our base. But if you have more than one friendly ship in a base, it actually captures more quickly than a ship on its own can do. So if you take note of the capturing base timer there, as my teammate enters the base, you'll see that drop down. Okay, there's nothing the enemy can do to win this one now. Absolutely confident of that. So it is time to lean back the chair, put our feet up, maybe make a nice cup of tea while we just wait for that timer to run down. And once it does run down, that will be it. Game over. We'll have taken that battle. So I've only sunk 2 ships in this particular battle, but it's not necessarily about how many ships you sink. I do have the high caliber award there, so how many ships can you impact and what percentage of their total health can you take away, that can you damage? Now, you won't spend very long at Tier 1 gaining enough experience points to move up to the next tier, but use the opportunity to learn to angle your ship so you reduce the amount of damage that you take, but also how to use islands to limit the number of ships that can fire you at any one time. These are good habits to pick up and start to appreciate the minimap and learn how to read that to identify enemy positions. So that's the end of this particular battle. Let's take a look at the final scores. Okay, so nothing remarkable at Tier 1, 22,000 damage, 2 ships sunk, high caliber award. We managed to finish top scorers on the team as well. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video, I really do appreciate that. Take care and goodbye.